Hi, I'm Roxanne. Welcome to my channel, Everything About Hallmark. And it's a Thursday, which means I'm uploading a recipe. Now, if you are not a fan of Hallmark channel, that's okay. Stay with me because the recipe is for oatmeal raisin cookies and there's a secret ingredient.
Here they are fresh out of the oven. They are super easy and yummy. And by the way, hit that button and subscribe.
Now back to why I even do this. I do this because I love Hallmark movies. I love everything about Hallmark, whether it's a movie or a show, especially When Calls the Heart. And When Calls the Heart already had its season finale and it was so exciting for me. This is how I stay connected because I have to wait till February before it comes back. So I did this recipe, the oatmeal raisin cookie, because for me, it was the moment that I knew that Lucas and Elizabeth really were embarking on a real relationship, even though they didn't give it a name yet. So Lucas takes her on this most magnificent overnight trip. And I'll show you a clip right here.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
May I?
And when she returns, she loved it so much. This is her response to, I was going to say Pascal, but you know it's Rosemary. Here's her response.
Did you have fun? I wouldn't know where to start.
Oh no, not good?
Oh, Rosemary, it was perfect.
So her baking for Lucas is important. It's something that she's giving from her heart. She wants to say thank you. She has money. She comes from money. She could have given him some beautifully written fancy thank you card. She could have given him some type of a token gift or simply just said thank you. But instead she bakes him cookies. And he looks at them. He's like, I'm sure they're going to be delicious. She really did this from her heart, which I love. So here is the recipe. It is so simple. If you stay to the end, you will see all the ingredients. So it is butter, and I have the butter in here, 2 sticks, and they are softening. And instead of adding sugar, I am going to add maple syrup. After all, they are Canadian. So maple syrup and sugar have the same ratio. If you need a cup of sugar, then you can use the same sweetness. You can use a cup of maple syrup. But the thing is this, because it's liquid, it's good to back out about 3 to 4 tablespoons. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to add this to here, and then I'm going to cream it. And I'll show you. Once I've creamed that, I'm going to add 2 eggs and some vanilla right here. I think it's a teaspoon. It is a teaspoon. Once that has been all incorporated, this is my oatmeal container. You're going to put some rolled oats, 3 cups, and I just put it all in here. 1.5 cups of just regular flour and a teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So oatmeal cookies. She doesn't say that it's oatmeal cookies. I know it is by the look of it. I'll show you the picture of it again and I'll zero in on it.
Here they are. Maple oatmeal raisin cookies. Yum.
And I did my research. Chocolate chip cookies weren't invented yet. Don't forget, this is around 1918. So the most popular cookie that would look like that, because it looks like there's something in it, like a chip or a raisin, would be an oatmeal raisin. And since they are in Canada, maple syrup, it really makes them taste delicious. Now, here's just a little note. Because maple syrup can burn quicker than sugar, you don't want to put your oven on 350. You want to knock it down to 325. I'm taking out, with just a regular tablespoon, 3 I'm going to do, since they're kind of a little on the generous side. 3 tablespoons out. Then I'm going to pour this directly in, and then I'm going to cream it together. And I'll add the vanilla and the egg. That's what I'm going to do right now. Now think about this. Elizabeth had to mix this by hand, and you could, but why when we have electricity? If you want to be authentic, go right ahead. So I switched to my KitchenAid only because I love my hand beaters. They're actually from Walmart. They cost like, I don't know, $7. But I switched to this because of the angle and the cord. But the hand beater would have been fine. So now to the mixture, I'm adding 2 eggs. and some vanilla. I expect Elizabeth to be a little bit of a messy baker, only because she's kind of new in the kitchen, but that's just my thoughts. But I expect, I always say this, that Lucas has like impeccable manners, and I can't wait to see if he'll cook for her. I think that would be fun. Okay, hold on. So the batter is very much a liquid with the eggs and the butter and then the syrup. That's why you back out 3 tablespoons, even 4 if you want, depending upon the sweetness. But there's a lot of dry ingredients in here. 3 cups of oats, 1.5 cups of flour, and we're gonna incorporate it into the mixture. I want you to see what it looks like, so you don't say, oh, I did something wrong. Okay. It doesn't look like your typical, like when you creamed butter and sugar together, because it is liquid. All right, I'll show you. Okay, so we're gonna add the dry ingredients. Fine. I'm gonna actually move this to the side. I'm being messy. Just gonna mix it up, mix it around, and you will start to see it thicken. It's really flavorful. So imagine Elizabeth comes back from this beautiful overnight with Lucas, and she was wined and dined, and she found out that he decided to stay in Hope Valley because one day he would like to have a family. And she says to him, you plan on being patient? And he tells the story of his dad and what his dad said about being patient. I'll show you to remind you.
I am in no hurry. My father used to stress the importance of patience, especially when it comes to finding your soulmate.
So, you plan to be patient? Like your father?
I have always had faith that I would know the perfect woman for me when I met her. And I will wait as long as I have to win her heart.
And that was the theme of their relationship, being patient, because she was so in love with Jack, but she was trying to make her heart open again. And he was like the best with her. He didn't want to rush her, but you could tell just the way he looked at her, how much, you know, he wanted to be with her. And they had so much of a connection. I know there'll be people out there who'll be mad about this, but they do, and they did. The writers did a good job with showing that. So, I mean, if you wanted it to be something else, that's okay. But anyway, so from her heart, she makes these cookies for him. I love that, and I have to tell you, they're really good. All right, so I'm gonna finish adding. I did do it like threes. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and it is getting thicker. I'm going to stir it just like Elizabeth did. She put some elbow into it, as my niece would say. And you're going to see how they're starting to get thicker. Like all that dry ingredients is sucking up all the luscious liquid. Now, because there is the maple syrup in it, and because there's 2 sticks of butter, no lard, you're going to see that they are a flatter cookie, and that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna mix and mix. Now, this container says overnight oats. I just use the container. It's not overnight oats, it's rolled oats. And I put that in the ingredients list. So now you can see it's getting harder, or it's more difficult to like stir. So it's not really that liquidy. Now I have it mostly stirred, and a little at a time I'm going to put a cup of the raisins in. So I'm gonna put half, and then do my whole stirring. And then I'll put the other half in, and then I'll show you what the batter is, and then I'm going to scoop and roll them out onto the cookie sheet, and they bake for about 10 minutes. Okay, so Elizabeth, maybe she was breaking a sweat like I was. Please, I would be breaking a sweat anyway, because Lucas Bouchard is the man. Okay. And I would want these to taste perfect. But I feel like he's so in love with her and just loves everything about her that she would go and take the time to bake for him, because she is a teacher and a single mom, would just touch his heart and show how much she truly appreciated the trip. Okay. And then I'll show you this way. You can see it is a thicker dough now. So we have the dough ready to put on the cookie sheet. And we're going to have these most luscious, delicious maple oatmeal raisin cookies. Stay tuned. I lined the pan with parchment paper. I mean, you could do it without it. You could put some spray, but I feel like it worked out better for me. And I have a little bit of water in here. That's my trick anytime there's like a scooped cookie. I want to wet my fingers a little. So I'm just scooping right out of here. They're pretty decent size. Then I'm pressing it down there. Just dip your fingers in here if you want. And then smooth them out. And then I'm going to fill up the whole tray. And I'm going to bake for about 10 minutes. Now, when Elizabeth brought these to Lucas, she stopped in the saloon and she had a basket. And she opened them up, had a little napkin just like this. And she said that she baked cookies for him. And he's like, I'm sure they're delicious, but you didn't have to. But I love it because it was a gift from her heart. And me, as a fan, I was like, this is her man. And I was so excited for the next season. Okay, tell me what you think in the comments. If you're an Oatmeal Raisin fan, even if you're not a Hallmark fan or you're not a When Calls the Heart fan, you should be. But if you're not, I'm glad you stayed to the end. Check out the recipe and make these because they are really good. Thank you, and you have a good night.
Here are the ingredients for the recipe. If you have any questions, just ask in the comments. Enjoy.